One. Welcome back to the Vent, Rebuild, Refocus podcast presented by We Chat here. We have the beautiful Sierra. We have Miss Nikeva, New York, and I am that boy Reckless. We also have CO Chris Okwazi will be joining in. The one and only Wolf will be joining in. I understand. And today, this is a topic that's been on social media real heavy, real prevalent. And the topic is definitely a focal point in our community, right? So we had a substitute teacher in conflict in fighting actually a student, understand, in school. We're gonna talk about it first and foremost, right? We'll look at both ends, and then we'll also view our own opinions and what should be acceptable, what shouldn't be acceptable, because we have children. And okay, so Nikeva, you being an educator, right? Let me know your standpoint on what you've seen and what took place.
Okay. So this specific topic, I feel different ways for different situations.
Okay.
Now, this is a substitute teacher, and the student hit her first, right?
Okay.
So,
No, okay.
Yeah. So I feel like when you hit someone, what do you think their reaction is going to be? I think you can't be like, oh, it's a teacher, because it's a substitute teacher. Now, a regular teacher might not hit it back because they have a lot to lose. They have a license, they have a bunch of stuff to lose. But a substitute teacher, they have nothing to lose. They're not contracted. They don't have a professional teaching license. They have no benefits, medical, health, like they have health insurance. They don't have dental. They don't have life insurance. They have nothing to lose. So if you hit someone and then they whoop your butt, like what? I don't know what you was expecting. I mean, I think when a kid gets in middle school, they're the size of the teacher. Like you're as big as the teacher, especially now. Like I don't know what they giving these kids, the hormones in the food, everything. They're as big as the teacher. So if you hit the teacher, they might feel like they gotta defend themselves. And I feel like from the video, she hit the substitute teacher. The substitute teacher beat her up. Would I do it? No. But I don't have any ill will towards that substitute teacher.
Okay. So from what I've seen, it looked like the sub was definitely way bigger than a student, right? And you actually gave me some insight and some background, because I had a whole argument, right, as far as the teacher should be more responsible because they're trained. However, being that she's a sub and she doesn't have the qualified training, that's a whole different issue. Then it's like, well, why are we allowing people to come in that's not trained? Because they
don't have teachers. They need somebody. They need a body there, right? So yeah, substitute teachers are not trained, and they work from day to day. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody call out, it's like, okay, I could pick up this job. Oh, somebody call out at that school. Oh, I could pick up this job. It's not. No, they don't have training.
So like I was saying, that's a whole bigger topic, because we should have somebody with the emotional fortitude to de-escalate the situation. Understand? So now back to the situation at hand. What I seen, right, was an adult that could have de-escalated a situation from the little girl. Understand? She is not she was not bigger than that sub, and she was way littler, right? I feel the sub could have de-escalated. I feel she was instigative. Understand? Don't touch me, flaring the elbow, pushing her back. At the end of the day, we're still having an adult versus an adolescent. Understand? Now, the adolescent swings. She doesn't strike her because it was blocked. She could have restrained her. She's way bigger than her. Understand? Now, watch this. I'm speaking of what could have happened, right? Because I wasn't there. And, in the heat of the moment is always different. So I'm just speaking, and I'm not ridiculing no one, right? But I'm just voicing my opinion on the situation. So, like I said, I feel she was way bigger than her, and she could have been more poised in this situation. She could have de-escalated the situation, but I feel she antagonized it, and then she resorted to ghetto behavior. Understand? To me, she resorted to ghetto behavior and really fighting fisticuffs with what was she was 14?
Yeah, she's 14.
But I feel like the girl wasn't like, oh, I'm hitting someone bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like she like if you hit somebody bigger than you and you get beat up, then I mean, like, what? I don't understand what reaction you was expecting from hitting someone.
No, but
Now,
So
go ahead.
you was telling me. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so because I'm listening to both, and this is my opinion. One, on the train part, I don't even think, especially if she's a substitute, and just how you explained it, Nick Hayward, that substitutes get called in for different whatever. So this is not her first rodeo. I feel like it's nothing to be trained about. You're an adult. We're dealing with children. We know children, especially when it comes to phones, and especially in the generation we're in now. When it comes to phones and stuff, they're gonna throw tantrums. They're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna want their phones back. So to take a child's phone and expect the child to not react, especially when she feels like her phone was the only phone being taken, it's kind of crazy to not expect that. Is one. Two, on the train part, I don't even think that's something to be trained when you're an adult and you're dealing with kids at a school. You're in a profession. So when you see a child showing out, you don't need to be, oh, I need to go train on when a child show out. Do I go get the principal, call the police, or should I just beat her up? Like, I don't think that's something to be trained on. Like, that's common sense. Like, this is a 14-year-old. The lady look about 30, 40. You overly grown. She have kids of her own, which makes it more little girls of her own, which makes it more like conflicting to me, because you have children of your own. Would you expect that to happen to your children? No, because you would go up there and probably beat the substitute up that did it to your kids. Like, oh, that girl touched my kids, I'm gonna go up there. So
no.
that's another one. And then I feel like also what was very inappropriate is you a substitute teacher, that if we're going to talk about train, she need to be being trained on putting panties on, because why are you in there with this small dress on teaching little kids and then going to go fight with your butt all out? Like, we can't even concentrate on the fight. All we see is all this movement back there, like in your whole butt. Like, come on, that's not appropriate. Like, that should be the first. Like, where's school guidelines? This had to been like a hood school or something, because that's like very inappropriate to me. Now, to get on the situation itself, I'm not siding with either, because the little girl, of course, we got some disrespectful kids now. I battle with my 3-year-old every day, and she ain't even been here but 3 years. We got kids that's very disrespectful, and it's all coming from the parenting, how they're being raised. And even kids that's being raised right, they still go out here and choose to be someone else. And that's just, we all been teens before. We all seen it. We all been there and done it. And then we're dealing with a substitute teacher. We done had sub support. Y'all know when we have substitutes, we feel like we finna turn up in a class, be goofball. We finna do this because they're not our real teacher. So I'm not siding with the child because, hey, you got your phone took. It's not like you're never going to get it back. Just, you voice your opinion, sit down. But at the same time, with the adult, I feel the same way that you said, that Borrego, she could have de-escalated. You took her phone, you see she's coming up on you. All right, you need to, go get the police the principal or the police or another teacher at this point. Okay, now you're in my space. You're trying to grab the phone. I'm going to go get somebody else because you're doing too much. And I don't want to put my hands on you. That's what she could have said, because that's what happens. Hey, look, I don't want to put my hands on you, so let me go get somebody
That's what happened with the teacher.
And what? What he
We
said?
on live, guys. We on live. Go ahead, y'all.
No, I'm just saying, like, she could have went and got someone else because she knew she wanted to fight. So when we get to the video, we don't know what happened before, but all we can do is judge off the video. And on the video, she was very, very aggressive. She wanted to fight. The video was wanting to fight. Coming from us,
Are you saying the
people in the
teacher
streets
was
too.
wanting to fight?
Both. But I'm speaking on the teacher. That of course, the little girl want to fight. She want her phone back immediately. Like she said, I want my phone back now. But the teacher really want to fight. Like, don't touch me, don't touch me, like pushing the little girl. So let me put myself in the kid's shoes for a second. If I'm going at it with a teacher, hey, give me my phone back or whatever, and I see she crunk and keep pushing me back and pushing me, I'm not touching you. I'm just moving my hands around like I'm doing gestures on my phone. And then you hitting me repeatedly, aggressively, I'm probably going to swing too because you want to fight. Like, you don't have to touch me either.
Hold on.
Yeah, so no students are ever touching me. Like, you could forget that. So I can understand her saying, well, first of all, when I was a classroom teacher, I had a space bubble. My students would never come in my space bubble. They already know. But you got to remember, this is a substitute teacher. Now, me as a licensed teacher, I'm not hitting no child ever. But at the same time, I don't think I would ever been in a situation like that with my students. I took many of phones, many of days, and nobody ever got in my face bubble, try to buck or anything like that. But with a substitute teacher, they have nothing to lose. Do not train your children to go to school and not hit someone that got nothing to lose. Like, that's not just in a school setting, that's outside in the world. Like, you cannot just hit somebody and not expect what's going to come next.
But see, I think
a substitute teacher has nothing to lose. Like, like, all the requirement is to have a high school diploma. Like, so how are you gonna hit? Like, see, my kids, I would never have to go to a school to be like, oh, the teacher did this, did that, because I trained my children. They would never hit a teacher ever. And because parents are not training their kids to be respectful, the teacher felt like, well, I got nothing to lose, so I'm going to show this little girl how to be respectful. If you hit somebody, you got to know, be ready for the consequences that come.
Hold on 1 second, Ben.
Got children, 6 years old, going to school shooting teachers. Like, you got to teach your children that you got to be respectful to the adult that's in the classroom, period.
True indeed. I agree. But we have to also remember here, we're talking about a 14-year-old. So, of course, she doesn't know that the substitute teacher has nothing to lose, or the substitute teacher just haven't been trained. The substitute teacher just coming out of nowhere. So, and I understand your point. Yes, we definitely have to teach our kids to be respectful.
There you go.
And that's what that goes back to my point though. We can raise our kids and teach our kids to be respectful all day, but when they go behind our back and they get with their friends and all that, they total different people. They're total different people, and we have to be accepting to that as well, because we can't always control as a parent what our children are doing behind our backs. So her mother probably was raising her right, just allegedly speaking, probably telling her, hey, you don't go to school, doing all that. But the little girl with her friends, she get her phone took, she don't care. My mama not here, I'm about to turn up. So I don't know. I just wanted to speak on that too. You're correct. I absolutely agree with we have to stay on our kids about stuff like that, because respect is everything. But at the same time, I feel like they're both in the wrong, because she, as an adult, you could have went several different routes. When she come into your bubble space, when she's violating your space, all right, I'm about to go around you because I'm way bigger than you. It's not like I'm offended by you. I'm finna go around you and I'm finna get someone else. If the little girl start punch her in the back of her head while she's walking out of the classroom, okay, hold her down, pin her down, do something. I don't know. But to just keep standing there and
So
pushing her and pushing her and pushing her, saying, yeah, and don't touch me and don't touch me, and being aggressive, it's like, all right, you don't want to de-escalate it. You actually want what's to come behind it. And that's the same for the little girl. You could have went back to your desk. You're going to get your phone back, but she didn't want to. She want her phone, and then his teacher swinging, so I'm about to hit you. She wanted what's to come behind that, which was getting her butt whooped, which I really hate that. But at the same time, they're both in the wrong, and they both wanted what happened. That's how I feel. They both wanted that to happen. They knew where it was going. We're not crazy. Like, they knew it was going to lead to a fight. They seen the aggression. The hostility was there in both of them. So I just feel like they're both in the wrong. The teacher could have de-escalated. The student could have de-escalated. Going back to her desk or going to go get higher authority, because you know you're going to put your hands on this child. Simple. To me.
right, but this is the thing. Like, if somebody hit you, who first reaction is like, oh, how can I de-escalate this? Like, come on, somebody hit you, you
But
hitting them back. Like, what are
that's just like our little children with daycare teachers. We have little kids hitting and spitting on daycare teachers. They're gonna go
no.
beat the little toddler up, or what they're gonna do? All right, I'm gonna go
That's
get
why
somebody
I
else.
said
Call your
once your kid
parent.
is in middle school, no. That's why I said once they're in middle school, middle schoolers are adult size. So even though that specific student was smaller than the adult, she still is adult size. She just wasn't as big as the adult. So that's why I specifically said once they get in middle school. But the other thing about that is if she would have restrained her or just like held her, restrained her like that, or even just pinned her to the floor, she still would have had the same consequence. Because only a certified teacher that's trained to restrain can restrain. So either way, it would have been the same consequence. She knew her consequences of her actions, that she would be fired and so forth and so on. And that's what
She was willing to
So,
risk it. I give it to her.
so hold on. So, I, so with that, right? Because you said, like I said, you're enlightening me on a lot, right? So if she has the all or nothing mentality, that is a dangerous environment for students. Period. Understand? That is a dangerous environment for students. If it's okay, I know I don't have no backing, no benefits, and if I do get into a confrontation with a student, I'm fired anyway. So I might as well go all out. That is a dangerous environment for students, right? And if this is the mentality, not saying it was, but if this is the mentality that subs are having, then we really need to overhaul the system, because what are we really expecting? Understand? What are we really expecting from a sub if this is the mentality? That's a horrible mentality. Understand?
for
And
sure.
it looked like she might have been the parent that like, oh, my kid's gonna talk to me like this, so you think I'm gonna let you talk to me like this? And like I say, it escalated. She ignited the fire. With
I
And
don't
let
think
me
it
add,
ignites
let
the
me add
fire.
too.
I
So
don't
this
think
what
it
makes it
ignites the
look
fire
hold
even.
on,
because
hold
what I
on, hold on, hold
saw,
on, hold on, Sarah. Go ahead.
No,
because
I
what I
was gonna.
saw in the
Oh, go ahead.
video, she what I saw in the video, she took the phone and the girl, first of all, her desk is over there. She came to the teacher's desk, trying to grab the phone in her face, pushing, and then she hit her. So I don't feel like the teacher by saying, get out of my face, don't hit, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you, I don't feel like that ignited it. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like the whole concept of having nothing to lose is a dangerous environment. You're right. That's the world that we live in right now. I don't think all substitute teachers have that mentality.
No,
But
we
what I'm
live, guys.
saying
We
is,
live. We live. We can hear
I
you.
think, huh?
No, I'm telling, like, they talking in the mic, but they not in the mic. I'm telling you, we live. Like, y'all can
Yeah,
mute
I mean, and there's a
yourself.
lot of teachers that are certified who definitely don't have that mentality. I would never fight a student. However, you have to raise your kids to live in the world, right? I think because the situation happened in school, people have like, oh, it's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But if that same girl hit somebody on the street and they have a nothing to lose mentality, she would be dead.
No, I get that. No. So let me just let you know, I agree with you on raising your children, not even to talk back to adults if you're in the wrong, right? Or let's not respect our elders is what we grow up on. That's wholehearted. I get that. And like you said, if she was in another environment, if she was at McDonald's, we see a lot of instances to where adolescents and grown-ups, the adolescent is antagonizing and they go ahead and get pulverized. We see this every day. However, this is a peculiar incident, right? And a peculiar situation to where this girl is at school, understand? And guess who's presiding over her? A substitute teacher. This is almost like a daycare at this moment. So we are entrusting this lady to use sound judgment when she's overseeing. Welcome to the show, Wolf and Sia. And so we're expecting her to use sound judgment and discerning ability when we're dealing with adolescents. Period. Now, whether if she has the all or nothing mentality or not, this is still a child, and you're not in the world. You're at school to where you signed up for it. Nobody, the girl didn't sign her up to be a substitute teacher, so she knows what the school environment entails. You're gonna have, especially if you're a sub, okay, some students are disrespectful, some are not. Some got a jazzy mouth, some are not. This is what you signed up for. And for you to take it there with an adolescent in school over her phone. Chris,
Yeah, so
how y'all
Let
doing?
me, I'm going to add something too, real quick. This is what makes it worse, though. This is what, even if we started with the teacher, okay, on the video, she goes behind right after the video, posting pics of her on social media, talking about, yeah, this is what I look like after the fight. What is that to brag about, though? If you're defending yourself, leave it at that. But then you're bragging about it. You're gloating that you beat up a 14-year-old little girl over a phone in school. And then your daughter's on social media like, yeah, my mama not to be F with. Yeah, my mama not like, it's like you're even influencing your daughters that this stuff is okay. It's like, what we doing at this point? If we're going to leave it at, all right, I'm going to side with the teacher. She was defending herself. We got a disrespectful child. She's in my space. Okay. But then you go off of, you right after, like literally right after, You start posting pictures of you. Yeah, this is what I look like after the fight. Yeah, this, that, and the third. Your kids commenting, talking junk, like y'all hype. Like that just tells it all. Like that right there told everything that it needed to tell, because you could have still kept it professional. Like, yeah, y'all, I hate that happened. If you was gonna make any post, I hate I had to do that. Didn't want to take it that far. I felt attacked. I felt
Some
this
type of
way.
remorse.
Some type of remorse. You know what? It shouldn't have went that way. But at the same time, I'm trying to defend myself. I hope you guys understand. No, you on social media like, yeah, and this one I look like, no scratches on my face after the fight. Yeah, like you're gloating about beating up a 14-year-old kid. It's not you and another woman. I thought
Hey,
she done met up
hold
with
on,
somebody.
Kiana. Let me take the time out to speed Wolf and Chris up. Thanks for chiming in, guys. I know we're all on a grueling schedule. I appreciate you guys for popping in.
Yeah,
Always understand. So we just tackled to where the student was in a sub got into an altercation at the school. I voiced my opinion. It's definitely a good back and forth. Nikayla voiced her opinion. It sounds like she's siding with the teacher right now. So, she a teacher. No, let me stop.
I'm not
No,
a teacher. Number one. Number two, I'm siding with a substitute teacher because for some reason y'all have this mindset that because she's in a school building, she's a professional. The way you become a professional is by having professional training. I'm telling y'all, substitutes have no training.
Okay. So, and I agree with that. So in actuality, right? We got a sub, but she's just an average pedestrian. Right. Understand? Right. She's a McDonald's worker, if you will.
So you punch somebody who was a pedestrian. Like, I mean,
right.
Teach your kids not to punch people because you don't know what that person is capable of after they punch him.
No, that's a fact. So, all right, Chris and Wolf. So, all right, with that being said, the teacher, so subs have no training. They don't have no benefits.
No, they have, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving them the rundown because I know we had a personal conversation, and like I said, my train of thought changed with the new information, right? So, like I say, they're not trained. They don't have a license to teach, and they don't they're really just pedestrians that took on the role as a sub. Understand? So it could be anybody.
Okay.
So now, with that all in mind, what is your viewpoint on that situation?
My viewpoint should be that I wouldn't allow anybody in my building that's not professional as far as not having the criteria that they need. I would never hire a substitute teacher for the simple fact of this type of a matter that's going on that we're saying repeatedly. Personally, everybody need to be have their degrees. Everybody need to be totally professional at all times. On top of that, personally, no teacher has the right to touch no student, and no student has the right to touch no teacher.
So just to reiterate, she is not a teacher at all. Well, there's a difference between a teacher and a sub.
Hey. Hey, let me chime in though. Let me say this. It's a reason we have a shortage of teachers. You get what I'm saying? Like when you listen to the teachers, they do complain about how these kids act. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's a reflection just on the parents, because you got to think of how our culture is. You get what I'm saying? It's easy for these kids to get into things. You see what I'm saying? YouTube is available. They get free on the internet. You get what I'm saying? TikTok. So what we have is a very influential culture to where that encourages kids to act like that. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean they come from bad homes. You get what I'm saying? So I say that to say this, I seen a post where the mother was telling her, she said that she doesn't condone her daughter's behavior, and she understands what the teacher did. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is a post on that if you haven't looked it up, but she said she doesn't condone her daughter's behavior, and she was on the teacher's side herself. I would say, it's very subjective. It's a very, very subjective matter, because you can fault both of them for the teacher, I would say you didn't have to throw punches at the girl. You get what I'm saying? You could have just restrained her. You're bigger than her. You get what I'm saying? But for the girl, you got to
Right.
respect your elders because where I'm from, they don't play that. You get what I'm saying? You respect your elders. You know what I'm saying? You don't dare run up on your teacher like that. Your mother will backslap the snot out your nose. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can look at it so many ways, but at the end of the day, the little girl is in the wrong. Don't care. You don't give them no grown woman face. That's
So
what
just
Okay.
to put it out there, no adult in a school building can restrain a teacher. I mean, can restrain a child
yeah,
unless they have a special like behavior certification that says that they can do that and they're trained to do that.
yeah.
If they do that without that, she would have had the same consequence. She still would have been fired.
Yeah. Well. What I'm saying is, regardless of the situation, I mean, because of her situation, it would have been better if she didn't throw punches. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to like, you don't get what I'm saying. You just want to de-escalate the situation. You know, you don't want to harm nobody. Nobody wants to get harmed. You know, I get what you're saying, Katie. You know, that's the rules, but in reality, you know, in her situation, the best thing for her to do is just say, okay, let me restrain her so that way I can get help instead of me just punching her like, you get what I'm saying, and causing harm to her. You know, so you know, I mean, she could have a medical condition. Something could be wrong with her. You never know. So that's why I said, you know, it would have been better if she just stayed and not throw punches. But again,
But see, when you really look at a school system as a whole, teachers really don't have as much rights either. Like back when I was in school, teachers couldn't even break up our fight, or they'd get in trouble. The teacher would literally get in trouble for breaking up kids fighting. And of course, we want to break them up. We don't want kids to hurt each other. But at the same time, that became a new rule too, that teachers can't even break up fights. Well, down here at my school, I don't know how y'all's were, but at the schools I went to down here, if kids are fighting, teachers cannot get involved. They only can call someone. So I don't know.
nah, you
I mean,
fight.
I
You
agree with,
yoked up.
I don't learn a lot just now that I didn't know when it come to subs. I wish I would have been knew that. But I don't feel like I feel like when you, just like being, that boy Reckless said, when it comes to the assignment, you knew what you was signing up for, period. We're dealing with children. Children get defiant. Children get argumentative. Children get disrespectful. We get it, especially when you're taking something from them. It starts as a little kid. Of course, you want to break them out of it. But it doesn't change the fact that we know how kids can be. We know how kids get sometimes. Even our children relapse sometimes and be ready to back talk. And what we do, pop them in the mouth, pop their butt, or tell them about themselves, whatever the case may be. So you know what you're going to go sign up for, whether you have nothing to lose or what. You know what you're signing up for. You know what you're dealing with. And if you're not mentally capable of handling that, you don't need to go do that job. Because what I see is someone who cannot handle it. You can't handle when kids get disturbed and get mad and want to talk junk and get in your space. You can't handle that. You mentally cannot handle that because your first reaction was I told her to get out my face. She's swinging. I don't want to move. Yeah, I'm about to start beating her up. That's not that doesn't tell me someone had, because you could have walked away before that even happened. Because what I heard was, I know we don't go out here and say we talk about a video, but of course it's chat all over the net. And they're saying before that the teacher did take everyone's phone. She gave them back, but she didn't give the little girl phone back because she was cussing or whatever. So if you see the little girl already showing out beforehand and she's not coming down, why are you still standing there instead of, all right, look, you know what, get your phone and you can get out my classroom, go to the principal's office, or hey, I'm not going to give you your phone back. I'm going to go to the principal's office since you don't want to leave my class, and I'll get someone to come get you to leave my class because you're disturbing my class, you're disturbing my teaching, my whatever. That could have went so many ways before the video if you already seen that the child was hype and was already aggressive and cursing and all this other stuff. Reason why you didn't give her phone back and gave everyone else their phone back. And even if that's not the case, when it gets to the video, it's like, all right, the child is not calming down. Now you're coming up on me. Is, hey, you know what? Get your phone. It's not that serious for me to beat you up or lose my job. And you can just go to the office or you can get out of my classroom. And if you don't want to get out of my classroom, stay here. That's fine. I'll go get someone to get you out my classroom. I just see so many other ways that could have went instead of the, all right, You swinging. We done got to the swinging part now after arguing by the phone. I'm about to beat you up, butt all out. Like, it's like, what is we doing at that point? And it just makes it even more badder to me because it's a black queen and a young queen that we're looking at. We already get slandered enough. So it's like, come on.
So
Yeah,
Now
so
we can't
just
even trust black teachers. Go ahead.
go ahead.
no, I think it's definitely unfortunate, you know. However, I think that if it was a licensed teacher who knows that, okay, if I fight this student, I'm going to lose my professional license and not be able to teach anywhere again, then you would have a different outcome. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But a substitute teacher, that it pretty much was like she hit somebody on the street. If you hit somebody on the street, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm bigger than you. Let me restrain you." Like, no, they fighting.
No,
So
I agree with the whole restraint part. I don't think she should have restrained the child. I think she should have just walked away or did something else before it got to the violent part. Because when it's altercation, we see a child trying to reach and do all this cursing stuff. It's like, okay, you still have a class to teach. Why still instigate it on her or lead it on and do whatever you're doing, holding this girl falling in the air and pushing her back? Why are we doing that at that point? It's like, okay, go get someone. Continue to teach your class.
let me
Like,
ask you a
she forgot
question.
she
You're at
had a
the
whole
grocery store.
classroom. Huh?
If you're at the grocery store and somebody hit you, what are you doing?
So my personal opinion, period, if someone put their hands on me and I'm at a grocery store, I'm gonna put my hands back because why are you touching me? That's very weird at that point. Like, and now if we
But
arguing and stuff, because see, I always been taught if it's a situation you can walk away from, walk away. But if you can, which is where they putting their hands on you, then you do what you got to do. So if someone put their hands on me, yeah, I'm gonna hit that. That's kind of crazy.
see, that's the substitute's mentality. If somebody put their hands on me, I'm hitting them back. And so she hit somebody with the mentality like, yo, the
But
substitute's like,
no, the substitute should have
get out of
expected
my
that from
face.
pushing her. The substitute pushing her and being aggressive, she should know, all right, if I keep pushing her, she don't want to get on my face, all right, she gonna eventually hit me. And we're
So
gonna fight.
so this is the thing. We could go back to the video, right? Uh the little girl walked up in her personal space.
Mm-hmm.
The sub
Already wrong. Because why you not
yeah,
at your desk?
so I'm not negating that the little girl was wrong, right? But we also are dealing with an adolescent. She's in emotional state because her phone is gone. Understand? And at this stage, social media may be her biggest thing in the world, right? And it's taken away. Understand? So she's at an emotional distress. Understand? Into so much she's cursing and she's threatening and she gets into this lady's personal space, right? Inside the comfort of her school. Regardless of if it's the outside world to the sub, it is the comfort of her school to the girl. Understand? And she goes into her personal space and the teacher, well, pardon me, the sub, the McDonald's worker, understand. And I'm just saying that, right? I don't have nothing against the people that work at McDonald's. Please
They about to be on
understand.
your head.
Right. So, so the pedestrian, right, the sub, she aggressively, oh, get out my, like right there she's antagonizing an emotional state of an adolescent to where it could have been de-escalated at that point. Understand? Because why do I say, hey, you could have de-escalated it? You work in this environment. This wasn't your first, well, I don't know if it was her first day or not, but I mean, we gotta consider if this is what she signed up for. We know what the school entails. That's all I'm saying. And you're an adult. Use your emotional fortitude, but clearly it was none. Understand? What I seen in a nutshell was two adolescent mind states going at one another, and you had one physical, mature, and one still developing, and then the one that was more mature overtook the younger. Understand? But it was two adolescents at that point. It looked like back in the day ghetto brawls. Understand? That's what it looked like.
Man,
It looked like ghetto brawls. It looked like the hood to hood DVDs
hey, yo,
from back in the day.
Not the hood DVDs.
hey, but listen,
Understand?
hey, but you know, hey, right, 'cause I kind of disagree with that wholeheartedly because
I
watch this. Because think about it like this: you're calling the substitute adolescent because she's exhibiting human nature. Like, let's stop it. If it doesn't matter who touches you in the face, you know what I'm saying? We know there's a certain age where it's like, yo, if somebody touches you in the face, you know how you're gonna react. Like, let's stop that. That's human nature.
no.
Yeah, and I'm not saying she was right or wrong, but it's like,
I said before it got to that, she could have de-escalated before if
But
she had
how?
the hold
Okay.
on. If she had the emotional fortitude.
Me as a licensed teacher, okay, I
yeah,
have trained. I know exactly what to do to de-escalate.
yeah.
But if you have training on how to de-escalate, on what to do,
You need to just
what
give
do
her
I
her
say
phone
to
back
you?
and send her about her way.
Whoa. Wait a second. Are you suggesting that you have to be trained in order to know how to de-escalate a child?
That's scary.
Wait,
Is that what I'm hearing?
absolutely. What?
Hey,
Are you
especially, hey, think of it like this. Especially if she has
just
no
see a
children.
child loud out and
What if
they
she has no
know?
children though?
I think you absolutely need to know how to de-escalate a child in an educational environment. Absolutely.
Wow.
No,
Like they
so
don't just wake up and know what to do.
no. But we could take that premise away, right? Because she had no training. So on the streets, are you suggesting that this lady will fight all the children in the world because they get
No,
her
no,
pushed
no,
off
no.
stage?
So not all
If
the
they,
I
children,
believe so.
but
yo, but if they
once you
approach you
in middle
aggressively, shoot. So like, come
once
on,
you
bro.
in
You
middle
know,
school,
hey,
Like, see,
Man, I can't talk
let
about
me
y'all, let's not take away
I
that
was
she's
a
a
middle
parent
school teacher.
and
herself.
The
Right, yeah, she's
students
a parent, but
hey.
yeah, she's a parent.
are humongous.
She's a parent
Okay.
herself.
Oh, I know.
Once
I
you
feel
in
like this is what
school,
I'm saying, y'all. I feel like she's a parent herself. So even if you're not trained, or even if you don't have the profession, you have nothing to lose, you think about, all right, if this was my child, because I'm sure she has girls, and after seeing her girls is chatting on Facebook, I'm sure they get real disrespectful. So if you have children yourself, are you gonna, oh, will my child get in my face and I told her to be quiet, start beating her in her head?
she
No.
might. We
She
don't know
probably do. I
how
don't
she
know.
is
I
as
ain't
a
gonna put it
parent.
past her. I think she
You,
be
Yeah,
squaring
yeah,
her
she
father's
might.
up now. I ain't even gonna
She
hold
might.
you.
are thinking as a parent because you're a good parent. We don't know how she is as a parent. Like I don't know how she is as a parent.
But
She
I feel
might
like
You're
he's
right.
a parent.
You're right.
I mean, I
You're
don't.
right. You're
agreed.
right. You
But I'm
absolutely
just
right.
saying though, even if she didn't have profession, I'm just allegedly generally speaking, even if she don't have profession, you still have little girls yourself. So if she don't raise her children like that or she do, it's like, all right, we're talking about outside though. So are you saying because with your actions that that's okay for someone to do that to your children? Or like would and not people didn't answer that and she refusing to ask that question on social media, but that's one of the major ones. Like, what if that was your daughter? Would you want someone like that pounding on your daughter? She don't want to answer that because whatever reason. So nah. At the end of the day though, both in the wrong. Yes, I'm not taking away from that both of them is in the wrong, because as a child, stay in a child's place, you're gonna get your phone back. But on the how could she de-escalate, I feel like the how is, all right, this is getting out of control before we get to the fight, but I'm speaking on before the fight. Look, you can get your phone back and you can just get out of my classroom. Like, let somebody else deal with it. Get somebody else to do it. Or, hey, you don't want to, I'm not giving your phone back, but I'm about to leave and go get someone because you're coming to my space, you're cursing, you're calling a disturbance to others. Normal teachers walk or stuff. I don't have plenty of substitutes that'll walk out and go tell the next teacher to come control us. So either step out the classroom and go get someone else, or it's a office button on the wall. Click the office button, have somebody on the intercom, yell loud as you can to the next one. Like, it's plenty other things that could have been done before it led to the pushing the student and the student trying to clock you.
I just want to be clear here, right? The student attacked because she was being attacked first. I don't care if she got into her personal space. That lady aggressively was pushing her, and the girl, like I said, she had no emotional fortitude. So she struck. Understand? She's an adolescent. She was being pushed and she struck. That's what I seen, right? I seen an adult have no wherewithal in a situation to where she could have had wherewithal. I'm not ridiculing. I'm not judging. Things happen in life, right? Because like you said, Nikayla, this is a person that has no training. And a person, going back to what Wolf was saying, a person that has no training to deal with the children of our future does not need to be in a setting presiding over them. Period. That's a whole bigger issue, understand? Because we're really allowing our children for the slaughter at that point.
And then not only that, I mean, that's just like you're not doing a background check on somebody you hired. We're not knowing what this teacher did, her upbringing. Well, substitute. We don't know her upbringing. We don't know where she come from. We don't know how she operated. But from us seeing on social media, she handles it unprofessionally in a ghetto way. And it's not good because at the end of the day, man, it was a black on black situation. So with that being said, you know, it makes us look bad all together.
The kids and the parents.
Right.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah, so me personally, I think they both they both need to be catching consequences. But the thing is,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely agreed.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I'm sorry, that boy reckless. I don't feel like I don't feel like the teacher was the aggressor. I'm sorry. Do I think she could have de-escalated if she had training and all this and all that? And so just let me say, okay, some substitutes actually were teachers, they retire and then they, stuff. Okay, they have training. But most substitutes are not like they don't have background education classes to know, okay, do this, do that. So it's a different situation. And I feel like once you come for me, and coming for me is, here's my seat, I'm coming out of my seat and I'm walking to you to where you're at. Now I'm in your face. That is I feel like the student was the aggressor 100%.
So,
because if your seat is over there, why you coming to me to get in my face to get your phone? Immediately, that is you being aggressive toward the teacher.
So, all right, hold on. So watch this. We have instances, and this might be a different, right? Because the security, right? How they be body slamming students and putting them on their skull and doing all type of egregious acts to them. And they get persecuted and ridiculed, right? Or some don't. And that may even be a bigger picture. But the thing is, these are adults, right? Regardless to if she's not trained, regardless to her background, she is in a setting with children. And unless you're telling me, and I know you can't speak on behalf of the all of Board of Education. That we're just letting lunatics, whoever, hey, you, what you doing right now? Come watch this class. I'm pretty sure it's some type of rubrics to substitutes. It has to be some type of wherewithal. It's not just babysitting. Understand?
I'm sure she's well. It kind of is just babysitting, but I'm sure she's fired. I'm sure she's fired.
No, I'm pretty sure she's fired.
No, what I'm saying is she knew she was going to get fired.
Right, so that's why
she didn't have much to look. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't like, okay, I'm going to lose my professional license.
So right,
this might happen.
And this is why I said it remind me of Hood to Hood. It's like, oh, you don't know who you stepping to right now. Understand? Oh, little girl, my children don't even do that to me. Whole list. It's like, what type of mentality is that? Like I said, that's a whole underlying issue right there. Understand? To where we have to know how to deal with our own people. We cry about the counterparts policing the neighborhoods and treating us unjustly, right? And it's an outcry, it's egregious. But when we're in the position to preside over our own people, we don't know how to do it. We take advantage.
Right. We gotta be taught. Like, we can't assume, like, oh, because we want things to be better, that everybody just has this knowledge to make it better.
It's
like,
a bunch of ignorant people out there
to do certain things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she has to be taught to know how to, okay, if a student punch me, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, she did what the only thing that she knew, which was to hit back.
So wait, just I have to reiterate.
Can't wrap my head around what y'all say.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just can't wrap my head around what y'all say that a person, like, forget the teacher, forget the whatever. We're talking about human beings. We done been and seen everything. When y'all say taught, it just alarms me that we're saying a person has to be taught, and then we're speaking on an adult and a child. An adult has to be taught how to handle a fussy child who's mad. I think that's just, and then being a parent yourself, that's so crazy, because it's like, all right, you're failing as a parent too then. That means you need to be taught how to raise your kids. Because we have to teach our kids, don't talk bad. We have to teach our kids, hey, when I'm talking, be quiet, or crying, don't get your way. So if we're saying we still have to teach the same adult that has children or don't have children, but we're speaking on a lady that does have children, that she need to be taught how to go around even more children to respond to a fussy kid that's throwing a tantrum because she wants her phone back. It's very alarming to me.
Right.
I don't think that's something that needs to be taught. You should know how to deal with this. And then you have little girls yourself.
So, and
how old are her girl?
Hold on. Real quick.
Okay.
I don't know how old her girl. We could look it up though.
Yeah, look that up so we can get the Yeah. If you know how old her kids was.
Well, I'm saying little girl because she's an adult, so I'm speaking on kids, like their children under her.
So but this is what I wanted to say.
You have little girls yourself.
The girl.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I understand the age matters as far as
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I get where you're going with that.
Okay? Let's really deep dive into that though.
I got you. But this what I want to say. The girl, she got up out of her seat. She didn't go swing on the teacher. That's not what happened. Understand? She asked for her phone back. She got into her space. She was aggressively removed with the forearm shove and push. Understand? And then actually the teacher was walking away and she turned to the confrontation. So the girl didn't just come up there and swing on her to try to get the phone. That's not what happened. And I'm definitely, I don't want that picture. I mean, it's video. We seen what happened. And in that instant, like I said, I feel I feel it should be no consequence for the little girl. Understand? Not at all. She was irate, right? She's an adolescent. Are we saying
What?
hold on, listen. Don't get over him. Hold on.
They ain't got consequences for irate adolescents.
No.
They ain't
Listen. You're right. Hold on. Listen. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to have the same accountability for the adolescent student as I would the grown woman.
Why? Why though?
Because one is an adolescent. You know why? Because the 14-year-old can't be a substitute. That's why. Understand? She doesn't have the She doesn't have the capacity.
No.
She doesn't have the wherewithal.
No.
So let me ask you, if everything would have happened how it happened, right? She got up out of her seat. She want her phone, the substitute, saying, get out of my space. Like, why are you in my space bubble or whatever? Well, not like that. Those are my words that I'll use. But she like, move out of my face or whatever. So if they would have fought and the girl would have beat up the substitute, then what? Everybody would have been okay with it. Everybody would have been okay.
No. That's a scenarios. No, that's a great scenario, right? That has actually happened in certain schools to where the student beats up the sub or the teacher. That has happened. Understand? But this isn't the case. So,
well, because the substitute won the fight,
right.
Now it's like, oh my
God! The fight,
Personally, I'm not looking at it from who won the fight. I'm looking at it as an adult to a child. I don't care who won the fight. It's an adult to a child, and then we in a profession. We're not even on the streets. Now, if we're in the streets, okay, but we in a professional field, and you are an adult, and the parents are trusting you. And this is another thing, what you are exposing to us now, Nakeva, some people don't even know that, because I didn't know that. I didn't know substitutes didn't have no benefits, no nothing. They just whoever people up there watching children. We would think, okay, this is a substitute teacher. They have some type of, history, training, profession, license, something under the sun that will place them in this field. They took some type of course. They did something. Who knows? Not just somebody randomly just up here just can fill in and do a job. So a lot of people is speaking off of what they think, because we're looking at a school, and school is profession. So people are thinking from a profession standpoint. You are a substitute teacher, whether a sub or a teacher, you're still a teacher. You're still an adult that's watching and teaching kids. No matter if you're a teacher, principal, whoever, a sub principal, sub nurse, we're still trusting you as an adult to watch over our children and know how to properly handle our children. And being that you can't handle a fussy child coming at you crying about her phone, and your result is, all right, someone's crying over their phone, I'm pushing them, all right, you know what, she's swinging, let's fight. That's alarming. I think that's very alarming, when you could have de-escalated that in the beginning. You're not trying to de-escalate it. You're walking away from her, going to your desk, doing all your little hand movements, talking aggressively, because on the video she wasn't already standing at her desk. They was walking, following each other, whatever, to the desk, and the teacher started pushing her. So if you can walk to your desk, you could have walked out the classroom while the little girl is following you. You could have walked to buzz the button, walk to another teacher. I don't know. You chose not to, though. You chose the lesser route, is what I'm going to call it.
She chose the more aggressive route.
You guys have expectations for this substitute teacher that I guess I don't have. Now, yes, they do background checks to make sure, no, what do you call
criminal
it?
History.
Criminal history.
Yeah, well, criminal history related to kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you
Yeah.
could have, but criminal history related to children, like you
Shout out,
harmed a child.
shout out to
is
the equal
bogus.
opportunity workers. Go ahead. Employers.
So, see, I guess y'all have these expectations like, oh, because she's an adult. Like, what am I not, like, this is 2023. The world that we live in, we have horrible parents, right? Like, we have people who are horrible parents. Like, am I the only one that see this in the world? So I don't have expectations for her, like, oh, because she's a parent. She might be a horrible parent. Like, I don't know her. But I do feel like you have to have a certain kind of training in order to be like, even in the educational setting, but even if they was on the street, if somebody hit you, you gotta have a certain kind of anger management or something to make you walk away. Like, if somebody hit you, your reaction is to punch them, like, or to
Right,
hit them
which
back.
is what the
You need
little
to
girl
say that if
did.
you was in the grocery store
Right.
and somebody hits you, you're hitting them back.
No, but
So
no.
Which is
for
what the little
her,
girl did. The
That's
teacher
exactly what
pushed
the
her
little
like
girl
3
did.
times.
Yes, exactly.
The teacher pushed her like 3 times. Don't touch me, pushing her.
Right.
She didn't say with her hands up, hey, don't touch me, with her hands in the air, hey, don't touch me. No, the teacher was pushing her and shoving her back. Shoving is a form of hitting.
Right.
Pushing is a form of hitting. So if you shoving me and don't touch me, and you're aggressive with it, okay, you keep shoving me, I'm only gonna let you keep pushing me like back so many times, and I'm gonna swing on you because you don't have to
but
touch me to talk.
Yeah, but
okay,
that's in a
but
personal space, though.
the moment you're this close
It
to
doesn't
me
matter. She could have put
and
her
Yeah,
you're
hands
touching,
up,
it
yeah,
and
doesn't
when
but
I'm
matter.
supposed to
when you
say,
get
hey,
somebody in
babe,
personal
But
space,
it absolutely
don't
matters.
touch
If
Hold
a
on,
me.
hold on,
guy,
hold on, hold on,
if,
hold on. Let's go ahead, Nicole. You were saying something.
if somebody is this close, like that is, I want to fight. If you're that close in a person's face like this, you're touching them, and I mean, she hit the little girl, hit the teacher like this. Okay, so she was pushing and shoving and doing all of that stuff too. Like, it wasn't like that the teacher was like, oh, pushing her and all that kind of stuff, and the girl was just like not. It was a two-way situation, but I definitely feel like we have this mindset that, oh, because it's in an educational setting, that the adult is supposed to, have a like some kind of magic common sense, or even though she wasn't taught, like, I mean, if she wasn't taught to do anything different, she's going to do what she know. And I'm not saying that she's right. I'm not saying that the girl is right. They both wrong. But I understand, like, from looking at the video, I see, okay, she hit her, so she beat her up. Like,
I so this is all right, so let me just say this also. You have inside information, right? So you understand because you actually write curriculums, you actually go visit schools and work with teachers and subs and all that. So you do have a different perspective, right? But for the average parent that's sending their child to school, they don't actually know that these subs are not trained. Understand? All they know, okay, I'm sending my child to school. I'm sending my child to school. Now, granted, we be having school shootings and all type of foolishness, right? That's prevalent in this world. Nonetheless, I'm still sending my child to school. This wasn't an atrocity from another student or a mad gunman. This was an atrocity from somebody that I feel, and this is just that boy Reckless speaking, that the adult in this situation should have had the mental fortitude, the emotional fortitude to resolve this situation in a manner to where she's not on top of an adolescent with her
but she
ass
didn't.
out.
She didn't have the mental. I mean, she didn't.
No,
He
right,
was
right.
like,
And
Right, she
okay,
that's
didn't.
I
Right.
probably
mean,
why she
No,
like,
fired.
and that's the fact. She didn't. understand? And that's just the reality we live in, understand? It was documentary of 94 freaked me in that school,
Oh my
understand?
God, not freak.
But
So let's do an overall, because we all are parents with children. So let's do an overall view, put ourselves in the parent shoes. Would we be okay with that situation if it happened to our children? Are we whooping our children? Are we disciplining our
from
children?
a parent's perspective,
Or are
yeah,
we
Chris,
going
go
after the
ahead.
teacher?
Yeah, that literally just happened to me. My 5-year-old was putting her hands on her teacher, and I got her butt about it. Because you don't put your hands on no teacher. No, you don't do that. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? Now, it's different because she is a 5-year-old. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said age matters. Context, all that stuff matters. Now, 14, I'm looking at my daughter like, listen, in life, you put your hands on somebody, and just get it, expect to get hit back. That's life. We human beings. Because one thing that I was hearing everybody say is professional. Hold on, let me make a point about this, right? How many guys have we worked with somebody who was always professional? We know somebody who's not professional in our field. I work with people that are. Hold up, I work with people. I'm asking, how did you get this job? You don't do nothing in this job. So let's get that professional nonsense out the way. Let's get that. Oh, she's supposed to be a professional. Get out of here. We know people in our job that have no business in there. Like, how did you get this job, my dude? Who gave you this? So let's kill that. You get what I'm saying? And she's a human being. Again, at the end of the day, as a human being, if you get hit, your natural reaction is going to be to hit back, period. Now, you can argue if she was right or wrong, but as a human being, she is going to naturally say, hey, you touch me, it's on a pop. You approach me aggressively, I'm going to defend myself. If you want to fall for that, that's cool. But she is a human being. That is a natural human being instinct. You cannot argue with that. None of us can. You understand what I'm saying? You can say what you would or wouldn't do, but when you're in that situation and you got your adrenaline rushing and your mind is pumping, sometimes you assume, you react. So that's why I'm like, how would we fault her for being a human being? Explain that to me.
I'm not holding fault. Right?
Well,
I'm expressing my opinion on the matter.
No, that's cool. But what I'm saying is, as
I'm
a
not
natural human being, don't
persecuting.
know. Okay, but I'm coming from my own standard. Like, as a natural human being, we can say what
Okay.
we would do in a situation when you're in that situation and your adrenaline's pumping and you're trying to, you get what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't think, you get what I'm saying? So how can we fall for that? Y'all keep saying she's supposed to be this professional, but sometimes, again, we get beside ourselves. So I'm like, where's the human aspect of it? You get what I'm saying?
No,
And that's what I think we're losing out of this. We are human beings. You can say what you would or wouldn't do, but when you're in that situation, you get what I'm saying? Your mentality is different.
It's always different when you're in the heat of the moment. So from a parental perspective, you definitely are on the side with the teacher.
Yeah. No,
Because
watch this. Wait, let me say this. I would tell my daughter this. Call me. Let me handle this. I'm the adult. You still a child. You call daddy. Let me go handle her. You understand what I'm saying? If I got called
phone.
Listen, well, yeah. Look, send the bird. I'm coming. Daddy is coming. You understand what I'm saying? But don't you handle that. Let me handle that because let her touch me. Man, it's us the kisses. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got to have a meeting.
Let me call Mama. Let me call Mama Bear. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but
yeah.
I don't want my child to handle that situation. Let me know. Like, I'm going to tell my child, sit down, respect her, tell daddy, let me go figure out what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm going to think of it from an adult. You're going to think of it as a child. I get that. You get what I'm saying? But I want you to let daddy handle this. You do what you're supposed to as a child. Stay in your place as a child. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, from a parental standpoint, if you were in that situation, what is looking like for you?
I mean, me personally, at the end of the day, if anybody put their hands on somebody, of course, their natural reaction is got to respond to, put their hands back on the person. Now, me personally, I would tell my son every day, hey, look, if anybody put their hands on you, don't matter what it is, you have to handle your business because at the end of the day, you're being harmed. Now, ain't nobody putting their hands on nobody to be all right. Somebody normally 9 times out of 10 will put their hands on you to hurt you. Me personally, I had to put my hands on a teacher before, and I had to go down all the chains of commands of what what I had did, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't recommend no student put their hands on no teacher, and vice versa. But from my personal aspect, I wish I could go back and not have to put my hands on my teacher because all what I went through afterwards, it wasn't in my favor.
Okay. So you was one of those. Okay. The
Yeah, I was one of those where I was always taught. My mother always said to defend yourself.
Mhm.
So no matter who the person was or what job description they had, my math teacher put his hands on me, and I sent him to the hospital.
Mhm.
Okay.
I got assault charges put on me. I had to pay his doctor bills. I was kicked out of school.
Mhm.
Other schools really didn't want me in their school, but luckily, I got back into school. So I tell anybody before you don't know what you're doing until you get put into the situation. But if you can be one of those type of people that can actually think about
What
it.
grade were you in, Love?
Pardon?
How old were you?
I was 16.
Mhm.
Exactly. So
And then
once you're
after
a
that, I
certain
was
age,
charged as an adult.
Yeah, and that girl was like, what, 14, 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also was sent to a juvenile.
so for me, okay, as a parent, I have 3 boys. I tell them all the time, every day, not just in school, but in life in general. If you hit someone, be prepared for what happens after.
Well,
Right?
I agree.
So if you're not ready to fight, don't hit nobody. If you feel like, oh, that person could beat you up or whatever, why are you hitting them? Like, I tell my voices every day. If you hit somebody, be prepared for what happens. Now, as a parent, teachers have definitely taken their phones.
Yeah.
Definitely. And my children would never hit a teacher. A substitute, they would never hit they would never hit a licensed teacher, So but what they do is they're like, okay, mommy, you gotta go to so and so and get my phone. They took my phone, blah, blah, blah. And I always don't have any problem getting
how
their
would
phone
you
back
children
from the
handle the
teacher.
situation if they
Huh?
say if a teacher had hit any of your children, and you also had told them to never hit nobody?
I can't hear you.
You're
Say it
going
one
in
more
and
time.
out. You're going in and out. But I'm gonna restate the question because I heard you. He said if a teacher was to somehow lose their moral compass and hit one of these 3 Hebrew kings, understand
Okay. Right.
what is the reaction? How would they react, or how should they react?
If the teacher hit them first,
Yes.
then they have all reign to whoop their ass. Why would you ever?
Okay.
If the teacher hit them
Right.
first, absolutely, and but they didn't agitate the situation at all. That means you didn't go from your seat to get in the teacher's face,
Right.
and that you didn't agitate. You weren't part of the conflict, and the teacher just hit you for no reason. Then that's something else. Yeah, you have all reign to whoop their ass. But if it's, my children would never get out of their seat to go in the teacher's face and be like, "Oh, I got to get in my phone." They just not.
So
They've got their
Understood, but
phone
let's not
time.
steer away from the original question. I'm saying if this was your children and this happened, I understand you saying your children wouldn't, but how would you go off the situation if this was your child on that video?
What do you like? So if my child hit a teacher,
I'm saying if that was your child versus the teacher, the same video, same way it played out, how would you respond?
well, I already said it. Not just in school, but in life. I tell my boys, if you hit somebody, be prepared for what comes next.
okay.
Like, if you hit somebody, yes, be prepared for what comes next, whether it's a teacher or whatever. Like, be prepared for those consequences. Because it could be that the teacher beats you up. It could be that you beat the teacher up and get an assault charge. It could be that that's a licensed teacher and she just called the cops, or whatever it is. Be prepared for the situation. Be prepared for the consequences. Period. If you hit somebody.
No, yeah, I think so, and I think that's good advisement, right? Raising your children like that, because that gives them more mental fortitude to say, do I really want to do this? Understand? Because they may be thinking about the back end. So I Sierra, go ahead. What would you do? And then I'm gonna go, and then we're gonna shebang.
Your thing is freezing. I think you said my name. I don't know.
Now, yeah, I said, go ahead.
Okay, so if that was my child, I definitely would want to sit down and talk to the teacher. I'm gonna sit down and talk to my child, both.
Okay. I sit down with the student and teacher. So, all right. So for me, if that was AG, I understand. It is no.
She is in elementary school. That doesn't count.
No. I'm just saying,
okay,
if she was
14.
No, at 14,
Okay.
like I'm using my imagination, right? And she did get up and she did get into her space. That still doesn't give her the right to get her head knocked off because she intruded in her personal space in her school. I understand. That's just me. So as a parent, I'm definitely taking the same measures that the sub took, understand, on adult level, right? She didn't spare the child. I'm not going to spare the adult, understand, period. That's just me, though. She had no moral compass. She had no wherewithal. And she's not the only adult that could live I'm going to take it all the way there, understand? And especially when you're dealing with children, right? My children, I could take it just as far as you want to take it, understand? And in this instant, you actually did take it somewhere to where now the parent has the rebuttal, understand? Regardless to if you feel my child was out of line because she got into your personal space, like I say, I seen an aggressive grown-ass woman that could have de-escalated the situation inside of a school. That's what I seen. So after that, okay, you didn't want to de-escalate. Fine. Let's go have brunch.
So you're just as worse as a substitute. Okay.
Absolutely. When it comes to your children, yes.
It is what it is, because at the end of the day, I got to defend my child. Am I going to tell my child, yo, listen, why did you get up and get in her face? Absolutely. But does that mean because you got her personal space that you get the uppercut and another cut and another cut? No.
Because she didn't have the mindset to do anything else. But you're saying you don't have the mindset to do anything else either. So you went press charges, like you
pertaining to the adult, understand that I seen attack a child. That's from my perspective. This is that boy.
So you want to put me down.
I seen an adult attack a child in her school habitat. That's what I've seen. And so, and then with the background information, she couldn't have been unprofessional because she wasn't professional to begin with because she had no professional training. So all I could go by is an adult is attacking a child that got in her face.
Not even a teacher no more.
Not even a teacher no more. Okay, cool.
This is an adult versus child.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Like I
you
said,
forgetting that part. She hit her first.
no, yeah,
She hit
she got
The
her
the
face,
teacher hit first. The
but
teacher was pushing her
yeah,
first. That's a form of hit.
the girl did not come and swing on that woman. She did not do that. She got her face and she got mushed almost.
I need y'all to play the tape.
Yes, you gotta watch the
No,
tape
we got
then, Nikayla,
we
because
gonna have to
So
watch it
the
off
teacher
air.
was
once
absolutely
once the
pushing the little
girl hits her,
girl.
Yeah,
okay.
we need to watch
So
that tape, cuz.
if you hit somebody and you don't swing no more, that's different.
You got
The
this
once the
angle.
girl hit her one time, the girl was swing like it
No,
wasn't like she was like, oh, boom. She was like swing, swing, so like she was swinging on the teacher.
there is a
So
before.
what the
There,
See, that's
hold on.
why when you asked me that, Nikayla, that's why I came with my response. Because if a teacher, I don't care who it is, if you, well, of course not no child, but if you keep pushing me and all I'm doing is telling you I'm about to take my phone and I'm trying to grab my phone, not you. I didn't grab you. I didn't touch you. I didn't push you. I didn't nothing but. If I'm telling you I'm gonna grab my phone and you consistently keep pushing me, I'm about to knock your ass out too. Because why are you
For
touching me?
me,
You don't have to
for
touch
me,
me.
for me, the student was hit first. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
And then
the student was not.
she reacted. Of course, she lost because she was outweighed and she was way smaller. And you know what happened? What happened? But for me, she got up, she got in her face, she got mushed, she got pushed, and the girl reacted. So she tried to swing at her to no avail. We act like she got up there and hit her with a right hook. Boom, all that. Where my phone at? Oh, square up. No, that didn't happen. She got her face. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. Give. Bing, boom, boom. It's like, come on. The little girl stood no chance. It wasn't like I say, she didn't get up and just punch the teacher. That didn't happen.
Well, hopefully they both in jail.
Yeah.
But hopefully they both in jail. Because if you an adolescent, you ain't got no respect for adults. I mean, you need to be in jail. If you an adult and you don't,
So hold on.
I mean, you
Now
need to be in
I
jail
get that.
too.
I get that, right?
Hey, Reckless.
Go ahead.
Hey, can I just say this though? Like, yo, I know we keep, I hear you and Stare keep saying, the teacher could have, de-escalated it. But again, this is why I look at the child. I say, why not let the adult handle this? You get what I'm saying? Why not? Well, like if the teacher took your phone, why not come tell your parent and let them deal with that? You see what I'm saying?
Because you
No,
didn't
I
raise her.
said that in the beginning, Chris. You wasn't on when I said
Yeah,
that. I said that.
yeah,
I
I
said
tell you.
the child could have. Yeah, I said in the beginning, both is
Yeah.
wrong because the
But
child felt like you're
the
not going to
thing
get
is,
your
you
phone
didn't
back.
raise her
So
though.
sit down.
Huh?
You didn't raise the child to do that.
I didn't raise the child to do what? To say,
You
to
didn't
come
raise
to
this
me?
particular child to just go to her mom.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying though. Like that's what the child could have been told to do by the parent though. You get what I'm saying? Because you keep saying the teacher. I'm like, okay, but the child could have de-escalated as well. You see what I'm
No,
saying?
but
And
so she's a child.
okay,
We still have another parent in the building. It was only one
okay,
parent in the building.
but wait. According to her parents, she was not raised to do that though.
No. But watch this. It's only one parent in the building. There's only one adult in
So
the building. Are we
So
okay, so
saying
let me
so
ask
so
you
so
this.
what you're saying is because she's the girl's 14, right?
okay?
14, 15? No, how old was the girl?
I think 14.
14.
14. Okay, so you telling me at 14 that she can't be trained to say, okay, you know what? I get, you being upset, but you have to sit there and let me as an adult handle that for you so that way you don't get in trouble yourself. You
I'm
get what
not
I'm
saying
saying?
that. I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm
so
saying
I'm saying why we put more accountability on the parent than the child? Because again, as a child, you don't talk to adult anyhow. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't do none of that.
as,
Where's the respect? Well, I'm saying, where's the respect factor? Why are we taking away that respect factor? And see,
I'm
that's what we've gotten away from because the Cayman said something like that earlier. We've gotten away from that in school. That and wait, hold on. We're at the age to where we knew that we didn't do stuff like that in school because we knew the consequences of what was going to happen at home.
Guess
Do
what?
you see what I'm saying though?
I agree with that.
Yeah. So why are we? Because I'm here to teach. I'm like, hold up, but where's the respect factor in school? You don't
I'm gonna
even
tell
take.
you.
Listen, where's that accountability for the child though? That's all I'm saying. Because again, I always tell my daughter, if your teacher asks you to do something, you do it. But again, I'm gonna give her the common sense and not say, okay, well, if the teacher's ODing, you come to me, you let me handle that. I'll go to that school, and if it's that bad, I'm gonna remove you from that school. You see what I'm saying? That's up
I
to me
got
as
you.
the parent. But
So guess what?
why are we allowing this child to, you get what I'm saying, to do something that an adult's supposed to do?
All right. So
You're
watch
supposed to
this.
let mommy and daddy take care of that.
All right. So okay.
So
And
why
she, all
we?
right, she's 14, and she should have the same mental fortitude as a grown woman. That's what we're saying. But now watch this.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Do I
not
live in a
okay.
different world? I'm
Huh?
so confused. Do
What?
I live in a different world as y'all? I'm
No,
so confused.
no, we don't. We
Yo,
don't.
So,
Listen.
so y'all can tell me all the adults in this world have common sense. They always do what they're
No,
supposed to
no, no,
do.
right?
listen.
They
That's not what I'm
always
saying.
know what
I'm not
to
saying that.
do.
I'm not
I'm just
saying
saying
that.
though.
I'm not saying that. But
Just
I'm not saying that either.
That's stupid as shit.
I'm not saying that
no,
either.
listen. Hold on. Hold on.
I don't. Exactly, and that's what we're saying though. Right?
I,
And
I
that's what
can't
I'm
hear
saying though.
you.
So how?
Hold on.
I
But
can't hear
Listen.
you at all, Wolf. Something's wrong with your. It's like we can't hear you, Wolf.
All right. Just give me a second.
I'm
Hold
saying
on.
that at the end of the day, she's
All right,
14.
hold on. If this 14-year-old goes out and shoots up the school, right? Who is at fault?
Say that again.
I said, if this 14-year-old goes out and shoots up the school, who's at fault?
She's at fault.
yeah, the
But then,
14-year-old.
but then we got to go back
Yeah,
to the household.
yeah. They were looking
So
at the
hold on.
parents.
So
At 14,
Yeah.
um, it's going to be for me, her, the 14-year-old,
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
parents, and the school.
all
All three of them are involved.
right, all right. All three is at fault. They definitely the parents is definitely gonna be at fault. Why? Why would the parent be at fault? Because of what my child did.
Well, how did she get a gun
No,
without your knowledge?
right. And why? Because she's an adolescent. If you're 8-year-old,
No, but how did she get a gun
Hey,
no.
with
Kids get guns off the
hey,
your
She
streets.
got
knowledge?
guns off the
Kids go
street. She
get
could have
guns
got it
from
from a
anywhere.
friend. But so
yeah,
if your 8-year-old go do it, guess who's getting in trouble? The parent. Like
right.
It's a
But
1-year-old?
8. I'm just saying.
If the,
yeah, but wait, they're gonna question where he got the gun from, though. You understand? Because again, we in a day and age where stuff like that is easily accessible. You get what I'm saying? I mean, there are, like we said, adults who don't have that right mindset, who will sit there and give a child a gun. You get what I'm saying? Even if they didn't get it from their parents specifically, you get what I'm saying? They can get it from somebody who got it from some guy who got it from somebody, and it goes like that. So let's not, you get what I'm saying? Let's not negate that where we get a gun from. So that's why I say you always hold that child accountable. But what would happen is they were starting to look at the parents and say, okay, had the child been abused? What had the child been exposed to? You get what I'm saying? They would do a deep dive and do a background check on that child. Say, okay, like the people that shot up Columbine, they were like, okay, these guys play violent video games. That's probably where they got the idea to shoot the school up from. You understand what I'm saying? They would do an investigation to that. You see?
I agree.
but this the thing. Let's not steer away from the original. The original is everyone in the situation has some type of accountability. The parents of the 14-year-old, the 14-year-old, the grown woman, and the school. Everyone has a fault in what took place. And the parents are going to have the fault because they're going to say, oh, you raised your child to be this way. Okay. You ain't probably raising your child at home. So she thinks it's okay to disrespect an adult. That's what the parents come in at. The child come in at because she disrespected the adult or whatever, crying about her phone. The teacher gets at fault at because you didn't walk away, you didn't get authority, you didn't call nobody,
The sub,
and then you
not the
fought the
teacher.
child. The sub, the random lady.
Yeah, the
The
random.
random lady is at fault because she didn't go get anybody. She didn't do anything because that's what the principals and the law gonna ask. Well, did
She
you
was
try to
a
call someone?
vigilante.
Well, did you try to walk away? Well, did you buzz another teacher? Well, did you? That's what they're gonna ask, and they're gonna say, all right, you did none of the above, and you fought the child. You're fired. Whatever. So she's gonna be accountable to that. Whether she had wherewithal, whether she had mental common sense, no common sense, training, no training. You didn't follow any protocol. You didn't do anything to de-escalate, and you fought the child. And then the school's going to be held accountable because you just let a lady come in here and sub, and she has no type of training. The end. So it's accountability and consequence for everyone on the pedestal. No one is excluded. Not the child, not the teacher, not the school, not the parents. And the parents weren't even there. And even the parents they ass is grass too, because this is your child. And you should teach your child to be this way, and your child wouldn't got beat up or whatever the case may be. Your phone took, who cares? There's accountability that needs to be held for everyone. And that's what I was saying earlier, Chris, that you didn't hear. I'm not just siding with the teacher or siding with the child. I'm everyone. The child was in wrong. The teacher was absolutely in wrong. The sub, the random lady, the adult, whatever y'all want to call her, both is at fault. Because me as a parent, no, I don't want my kid going in there crying. First of all, my number one rule in our household is crying don't get your way. Next, you're going to respect an adult. Whichever comes first, who cares? Respect. You're going to respect an adult. You're going to respect authority. If they're not really putting you in harm's way, of course not, but we're going to respect. So, yes, the 14-year-old, you are out of line. It's not like you're never going to get your phone back again. You don't even need to be worried about social media right now. You at school. Sit down somewhere. It's okay. But the adult, you need to be you see the child is out of hand way before the video started recording, because the little girl, they said the little girl told a friend to record it. I'm about to do this or whatever. So if that's the case, even if it's not the case,
She about to fight.
she
Hence why
told
I say the little
the
girl
friend to
is
record it or
different.
however it goes. She was like, record this. Something about the little girl told her to record it. But even if that was true or not true, it's hearsay. I'm only going to go off the video though. You see the child is cursing and walking and following you. I feel like she could have did something else. Don't go to you see it's out of hand. The child is cussing. She's out of her seat. By that time, you know what? You get your little phone back. Go. You can get the hell up out of my classroom. I still have a class to teach. I still have a job to do. I want to get paid. Even if she don't care about getting paid, at the end of the day, that's just my opinion, how I see it. You could have just did something else. You chose the other route. Nah, actually, I'm not getting nobody. And whatever this child do, that's where it's gonna go. Simple. That's the only way I see that. Because especially with knowing what I know now, you don't have nothing to lose. Hell no, I ain't getting nobody. Shit, you come over to my desk and I'm telling you, get the fuck out of my space. You know what that means next. Don't touch me, was what she said. So I'm telling you, don't touch me. You still trying to get your phone. Shit, I'm about to beat your ass. That was her. I don't give a fuck about this job. That was her mindset. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, don't touch me. You still trying to grab your phone. I'm about to beat your ass. Simple. So, and excuse my language. But that's just how I'm viewing it. So everyone has a wrong. And I hope the teacher was fired and learned a lesson. I hope the little girl got in trouble when she got home and learned, hey, you don't cry about what you want. You don't need to be focusing on your phone. You don't need to be disrespecting an adult. I hope the school is on the panel of why are y'all hiring random people that like with ghetto booties and stuff that needs to be on Pornhub somewhere. No panties on at school. Like it's a lot of red flags with the lady, whatever. And
So
the
honestly, I think
parents.
she had on a thong, but
It might have
not
been a
yet.
thong, but that's still
She might
that
have been a
dress was
thumb. All
real
right, but
short though.
listen,
Like, come on, we
let's
just can wear
but
let's
but this
anything.
is the thing though. If it was a licensed teacher, that situation would have been completely different, right?
agree.
But because it was a substitute teacher, that's how it played out. If
Not
it was
yet.
a licensed teacher, nah. I mean that would have never happened. First of all, when I was a classroom teacher, my students wouldn't even get disrespectful with me because it's a certain kind of training you have where you build relationships with your students so that they respect you, you respect them, and it's a mutual thing. But with a substitute teacher, they're not trained, and then they don't have a connection with that student because they just go from class to class to class to class, as opposed to a teacher that's there all year
Right.
forming a bond with that specific teacher, you know, or that specific student. And so, yeah, it definitely would have been a different situation. Because my connections with my students were so good, if I take their phone, okay, Miss White, like, you know what I'm saying? They never buck, never get in my face, none of that. Absolutely, never. Like my personal space, they wouldn't dare come near. Even if it's a student, like a new student that don't know me and they try to be cute, smart mouth, my other students will be like, don't talk to Miss Wyatt like that. Like,
Right.
so I feel like it played out the way it did because it was a substitute. A licensed professional, ain't no way I'm losing my professional national board certification for a 14-year-old. It is not happening. Now, if anything, no, it's not happening. Nah, like I'll be suing the school for the student hitting me and them not providing some kind of protection. I'll be suing her and her mom. Like there just is no way. If it was a licensed teacher, nah. I mean, I don't think it would have ever played out like that.
See, I've had substitutes before, and I've got my phone took by substitutes, but it never led to a fight. Of course, I was like, you know, trying to get my phone back, of course. But at the same time, I just think it just depends on the person. I think the titles don't even hold a weight at this point. It just depends on who this person really is in real life, because you can only fake it for so long. We got licensed teachers that lose their license for doing, you know what I'm saying? I think it just really depends on the person and their mindset. And I done had plenty substitute teachers I done went head to head with. But at the same time, we never fought. It just is what it is. And whether they got authority or didn't, or kicked me out their class. And I've also had good substitute teachers where we grew a good relationship. Like, I done had some pretty dope subs come in and they just, you know, cool. They want to get to know us. They're not in there being a B word or trying to be somebody they're not. So I feel like in this situation, in any situation involving teachers, it just really depends on the person and their mindset.
So in
Like,
closing,
if you're not capable, then just, you don't need to take on that field, is all I'm gonna say. I'm done.
in
Our
closing,
analysts are out of control. I mean, point blank, they're crazy. But anyway.
so in closing, parents, let's raise our children to be respectful to all adults. Let's raise them on the positives in the world. And like Nikeva said, if they strike somebody, let them know, hey, it's a consequence behind that strike. Understand? Because all adults don't have the mental fortitude. All adults aren't going to be lenient. Some are on this earth to devour you, and they will devour you, as we just seen this deplorable situation occur in front of our national eyes. Understand? Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate all you guys' opinions. Oh, and the cable. What do you got on there? I like that jumpsuit.
Okay, well, this is new vintage.
Okay.
This is our other brother's clothing line. Wait, let me.
Yeah. Get a close up.
Let me zoom in a little bit on the new vintage.
Fire.
The new vintage.
New vintage. I will put the link in the comments and in the description so you could get some new vintage apparel. It's a dope. Understand? I will put the link to the WeChat here merch in the description. I will also put the link to the Cave of New York. Understand? Hey, when you gonna have an anniversary? We'll talk about that off air. Don't worry about it. She is thriving.
For my business in July.
In July. Okay. We'll make sure we put that in the link in the description so people could go and purchase your merch. And not just merch. I said merch, but she has facial products and beauty supply products and things to that nature. As you can see, per usual, she's always glowing, understand, and radiant. It's because of her skincare, understand? And she's just a goddess on this earth, understand? So,
Oh, brother.
thank you. I'm about to hit the road to get AG, guys. I understand. Yes, that's it. So, thank you. Live life, love life, pursue happiness fearlessly. Understand? I stress that every time because that's your God-given right to be happy on this earth. Understand? In the pursuit of it, sometimes it's not always easy, but if you pursue it fearlessly, you definitely can obtain it. Understand? Thank you, Okwazi. Thank you, Wolf. You were a little distorted. We couldn't hear you, but we heard you. Understand?
You are.
Even when we couldn't hear you, we heard you. You did. Sierra, the beautiful Sierra. Thank you. We already know we would have jumped that teacher. We would have jumped that sub. Understand? We would have came into the school and jumped her.
Absolutely.
While your child is eating.
Come on, me, my child in the man said the
I
child
had the child recording. Like, record this, yeah. No, I'm playing. No, but let's raise our children right. Understand? But thank you, and thank you for holding it down, Mission to Cave, New York.